89-year-old Hall of Fame trainer King Leatherberry loves to call himself the last man standing in Maryland racing. I'm here to tell you that's not true. Track photographer Jim McCue has been working in the winner circles at Pimlico in Laurel Park for the past 50 years. Now Jim's getting ready for his 51st Preakness Stakes, dating back to 1971 when Canonero II came up from Chile and won the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. We sat down with Jim to talk to him about his career. Jim, in all my years of coming out to the track, I have never been up to your office. And this place is insane. I mean,
a lot of history here.
I mean, does it develop like this over time? And I mean, if I went down to the bottom of the piles, am I going to find stuff from the 80s?
More than back, even further than that. The old international photos I have, the black and whites that the old Jerry left, and a lot of Preakness stuff, and a lot of just very old negatives that.
Is this do you consider this a comfort zone? Because some people like to.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Some people
it's kind of hidden. It's kind of hidden away, and I come up here, and not too many people know where I'm at.
And you like it that way.
And I like it that way.
We were wondering how many Preaknesses you've done. I
Yeah.
think this is the 51st
51.
coming up, so we blew it.
Well, the first was in 1971, Canonero II. So we counted it, and this will be 51, I guess. I'd always come to the races with my parents in the 60s. That's how I got to know old Jerry Fruitkoff. And he said, well, when you get out of the Army, come around. And here I am 52 years later. Actually, I started at Laurel in 1970.
So the old late track historian, Joe Kelly, who was a master storyteller.
The finest gentleman that ever was. Yep, Joe was a gem.
He had a picture, was one of my favorite pictures in all of racing that Jerry Fruitkoff took, which is the horse around, the Irish horse, during the 68 International training in the morning, just sitting down in the starting gate.
To me, that was the best picture that ever won the Eclipse Award.
Are you just taking these pictures? Do you have this is like a style? Because I'm just curious because it's kind of it's an artistic work.
Yeah, I like to think I'm very observant, and I'm always looking for something different to shoot. And try. You can shoot 1,000 pictures, and maybe you like one. Just the way it works.
So you told me the other day your first Preakness was Canonero
which
was 71.
Right.
And this, for people who don't know, was a famous Chilean horse
who
came out of nowhere.
Nowhere,
out of Chile, so it was nowhere from American
won the
racing,
Derby, and then,
and won the Preakness.
Yeah.
What do you remember from that, your first year? Because it's like this, I was a very little kid, but it was a national sensation.
It really was.
That this horse came out of nowhere. So you are thrust into your first year in the excitement. Do you recall what it was like?
I just standing on that finish line for all these Preaknesses, your heart starts beating, you get real excited, and it's a thrill. You get to see the best horse flesh in the country when they come in, and I've been very, very privileged,
Why Secretary your favorite? And is there anything in particular you remember stories from that?
He was just awesome. I'll never forget, we didn't race on Sundays back then, and they came out and they wanted to measure his stride. They were trying to compare him to Man of War. I think they measured his stride. We did that on a Sunday.
Have you been following the horses for this year's Preakness?
I used to, but there was always somebody, a real special horse. Like the Secretariat. So and them Seattle Slew and those. I've seen 5 Triple Crown winners. It is amazing. And I had to wait up till Secretariat was 20-some years. And I believe after the last Triple Crown, it was like 30-some years. Pharaoh,
78 with confirmed American Pharaoh,
right.
15.
Yeah.
He is such a soft-spoken human being. He doesn't like the limelight. We had to pull at him a little bit to get him to do this story with us. But he's someone that the people in Maryland who followed racing should know.
Oh, of course. When you first brought this up and we started talking about it, and I looked at Jimmy and said, Jimmy, I know you don't like the limelight. I said, but you deserve some of the recognition. I mean, you do, for what he's done over the 52 years he's been here, the acquaintances he's made, the friends he's made. I mean, it's good to see him getting some of the recognition he so totally deserves.
So, I've been getting win photos from Jim for 30 years now, pretty much. This is where I started in Maryland. Jim's always been phenomenal taking the win pictures. They've changed a little bit, the character over the years, but Jim's always been so good and so generous with us, and so loyal. And it's always something that everybody looks forward to, is getting the win pictures, whether it's the grooms or the owners. And Jim's always been probably the best at it. He's been doing it a long time.
Well, like I said, I've been very privileged, and it's been an honor to even be there for all these years, 52 times or 1 time, It's just truly an honor. That's all. I don't know what else to say.